So we are live. A lot of things happened this week, so we got a lot to discuss. Notice we are down one person. Kyle is at a Chargers event.
Yep.
Looks like the beach. Am I right? Is that the beach there, James?
That looks like the beach. He's at the beach. I guess it was raining out there. I think it's an event the Chargers are putting together for cleaning the beach up, basically. And apparently Sante Samuel Jr. is there too right now. So
oh boy. All right. Well, hey, we better message our bro, make sure he gets some sort of little snippet from Asante, talking about the new coaching staff and everything. So guys, a lot to discuss this week. I'll tell you, dude, hey, our fearless leader, old Herbo, how we feeling? How we feeling about this, guys? We got Herbo over here ready to do some serious cooking, folks. We got Rich. We got Rich here, guys. So, guys, a lot to discuss. So, all right, as always, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
All right. So, Chargers going to win Super Bowl this year, guys. Hey,
that's simple as that. Yep, we're going 17-0 for the season. 17-0 for the season. We're gonna have the first seed. We're going to go straight to the Super Bowl. No stopping us. Herbo train is here, dude. We are good.
That's about right.
I mean, it breaks down to this. Like, we have three people. You got Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and Joe Ortiz. They all start with JH as their initial. Right. So we got the three JH to the third power. Let's go. The trifecta here's here.
The trifecta. We got this. Now, it's exciting. I mean, look, guys, this team is completely different. Let me just make that very clear. And there's a lot of things happening. Guys, we read all your comments. There's a lot of things to discuss about this. I know people were talking about comp picks. We saw Will Clapp get signed. We'll talk a little bit about comp picks as well. We got a lot of money left over, right, to spend all this restructuring. Well, obviously Keenan Allen gone. We're going to talk more about that as well too. But again, there's a lot to discuss. I think you're going to see some pretty interesting movement with this team here moving forward. I know, these guys are cooking, dude. I'll tell you right now, I can't say enough about what's happened here. You guys think about it for just a second. James, and in the chat, guys, we were the worst cap situation coming into this offseason. Almost 30 million over the cap, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think it was 28 million dollars over the cap.
Okay. Now we're basically the opposite. So we've done a $60 million switch. So we now are, I think, fourth best cap situation. So we're going to talk more about where I think we're going to spend that money. But these guys are cooking, dude. So I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's weird to me because you hear about some people kind of being a little butthurt about some of these moves. And it's odd to me to hear that. Like, I get it and understand. You think of like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams basically leaving. I get it. But like, it's funny because the issue that we were in was kind of because of Tom Telesco putting these inflated base contracts out there. We had to make moves. We had four guys that were in the top 10 top cap hits in the NFL on one team.
Yeah,
that is horrible. You had to do it. If it wasn't going to be these guys, it was probably going to end up being Telesco at some point too. Like, what we did, we were able to keep two guys that decided to sign on for less money. We had to get rid of two people at that point. One person also, which we'll chat about Keenan Allen here shortly. It decided not to stay, and essentially it's kind of a conflicting report of who said what and who did what kind of thing, but we'll chat a little bit more about it. But what Joe Ortiz has done has put us in a great position. How many times have we gone into seasons where we're like, man, if we had a little money, we could sign this guy mid-season, or if we had a little bit of money, we could sign this guy after training camp to be able to fill another gap on this team. We have that now. We have that money now, which is great. And we're doing great with these signings, by the way, guys. Like,
dude, bro,
great value signings. Great value.
Anybody who is going to rip on these signings that we've had just ain't paying attention flat out. Now, the one thing, and Rich, oh man, Rich, so good to see you, buddy. We need to catch up, man. So guys, be nice to Rich. He's from Canada. So first and foremost, let's just, and he's a Broncos fan, but we
ease up a little bit on him. Ease up.
Yeah. But we love him. We love some Rich. We love some Rich. And but guys, look, the thing that I will say, again, we're going to talk more about that. You know what? I probably should have, actually, we probably should have had you hop on this show as well too, Rich. But either way, we'll get you on another show a little later on. But it's interesting to see these moves. Now, I want to pose a question to you guys, right? So, and I want to pose this question to you, James. The Ravens historically take best available player in the draft. Okay. Yep. What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
And in the chat, what does that mean to you? Like, what does that really mean? I'm going to give you I thought about this a lot this morning, and it's what I think is going to happen in the draft. And I think what I'm going to say is going to be a little bit controversial, but, the Eagles signed Will Grier. Well, that's okay. Yeah. Well, we got Easton Stick, and now we have obviously Max Duggan. So that does make sense.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about comp picks as well, too, guys. We'll get into that. But okay, what's your thoughts on best available players, James? Because there's a lot to discuss on this, and
yeah, it's kind of a hard thing because every single Chargers fan right now is like, "You better go wide receiver. You better go get Neighbors. You better get that."
So Brock Bowers, right?
Brock Bowers or something like that. Like, so I did a mock draft earlier this week, and I kind of wanted just to test the waters a little bit about going a little bit of different direction on it. And I went with Dallas Turner at pick 5, and people lost it at that point. I mean,
what in the hell's wrong with you, bro?
What is wrong with you? Dumbest draft ever. ... Look, the thing about it is, and I did that mock draft because I wanted to see what your thoughts were. Everybody seemed to hate it, but then there were certain people on there that were like, no, it makes sense because you still have a very deep wide receiving class. I ended up getting Brendan Rice, and then I think it was Tajay Washington, I think, from USC. I went heavy on USC. Everybody's like, oh, you need to get Michigan guys. I get it. But you got 2 very good wide receivers. If you've seen Tajay Washington and Brendan Rice even chatted about, like, man, I would love to be able to be on the Chargers, stay locally and everything too.
Right.
But I chose Dallas Turner because you would have 4 elite edges at that point. You'd have, Bosa, Mack, Tooley, and then Turner. We can't really count on Bosa at this point to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to think ahead past him. Now that would make that D-line be an absolute stacked D-line with 4 edges actually at that point that could be really, really dangerous on that. And then I added basically a center on the second pick. And then I also added the linebacker too. Yeah. So I kind of built the defense up because basically what I'm saying is like, that could be the best player to make this defense be just an elite level. Go back to the stats about Justin Herbert. If you keep basically defense under 25, if you keep the defense under 28 points, Justin Herbert wins games, right? So if you have an elite defense, you could basically decide to like dominate all around. So best player based upon which way you could get more wins. And I'm really confident either which way Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz go with whatever pick. So
well, you got to also remember something too, right? So going back to my question, best available player. And again, what do you think in the chat? So my thought, and I had this complete thought going into the draft, you want to say, okay, I'm okay with the team I have going into the draft. Okay. Across the board. I have a starter in every position that I'm okay with, right?
Yep.
I'm not completely happy with them, but then you rank positions. You say, okay, well, I'm not totally happy with my corners. I'm not totally happy with my, wide receivers, right? And then you start ranking positions that you want to pick. Then you just look at the board, 5th pick. Let's say we stick and pick, which I don't think we're going to do. I think we're probably going to trade back. But what that would mean is whoever's your highest rated player and is closest to the top of position of need, you just take that person, and you don't think about it anymore. It's just that person. It could be a lineman. Rich has said this over and over again. It could be a lineman. It could be a right tackle. It could be who's that homie from Penn State? What's his name?
Joe Alt.
Latham.
Oh no, oh no, that's Notre Dame.
Latham. Yeah, Notre Dame. Latham.
The big homie.
And you're right. Yeah. So dude, that guy's gigantic. The guy Mims, he's like 6'6", like 350. That guy's a freak of nature, like gigantic giant. Wait, did that make sense? Gigantic giant.
Gigantic giant. I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Kind of redundant, but
anyways. But the point is, it's a big situation.
Well, and the big part of it is too, is that if you look at, like Fuwanga, like if you got him, like that guy is a beast right tackle. Now you get stuck with Trey Pipkins with a high salary. You cut him. It doesn't even make any help. It doesn't help you at all cutting him basically at this point.
Right.
But you get the player to be the way that I view this. They're going to get the player of the position of most need pretty much. Like if they stick and pick at 5, which it sounds like a lot of people are looking and waging calls right now on this pick 5 and seeing kind of what Ortiz would want. I mean, I personally think there's going to be a trade back, in my opinion. And I know everybody probably lose it. Oh, you didn't get Malik Neighbors. Oh my gosh. Like, I really think the thing is, just to even some of the comments down here, Jim Harbaugh is a power football guy. He wants lines built. He wants basically to give Justin Herbert as much time as you possibly can right now. And if you build up that O-line, that would be great. If you build up the D-line, that would be great. He just wants to be able to have a team that could just smack you in the face and you fear to play them, basically.
Hoe slap you.
Yeah. And Richie, dude, Fuanga's a legit right tackle. Like that guy is.
And he's got a mullet.
Yeah, and
he's got a mullet, dude.
Samoan with a mullet. You're in trouble, bro. You're in trouble.
It's over, dude. It's over. It's over. You don't want to mess with a Polynesian with a mullet, dude. Yeah, I mean that guy knows how to party, dude, and he knows how to take it down. Now, by the way, I did not see this video. You sent me the link on that, Matthew. That's awesome. That sounds great. I did not see that video.
I saw that. It was pretty funny. It was right after he signed his contract. He gave him a call and everything, and he's like, "Nah, man."
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was on Instagram, I believe.
Okay, well, I have to check that out. So the Vikings seem like an option to trade down. It would be like 11 and 23, which would be great. Guys,
phenomenal.
I truly believe that Joe Ortiz wants 10 draft picks every draft. And it's okay to let people go. Let people walk because you get those comp picks. We're going to talk more about comp picks, but there's a lot to be said about all of that.
And Enemy 805 just basically talked about Nick Wright and what he said about the Chargers. I actually just watched that video before he came on here. And he basically was like, dude, he's like, you could probably do 2 trade backs, get a couple extra picks for even next year type thing. Yeah. Get a third round. Like I've been saying, the whole thing that this team needs to do is get as many top 100 picks as you possibly could get.
Yeah.
So you could get elite players, elite players in certain positions. I mean, even to say like we could get Terry and Arnold to be able to have our cornerbacks situated even further.
Dude, that guy's good. Yep.
There's a lot of ways that we need to be able to find to get multiple more picks. Like I'm a big fan of just get as many top 100 picks as you possibly can. What if we bunch up basically our 2 4s and get like a good solid third out of that to be able to go jump right back into there? Now, does that hurt us? Possibly, but I do think the 4th round is kind of where we're going to look at tight end and running backs too. So either which way, I'm excited about the draft like crazy. And I really believe what Joe Ortiz is doing. Even though he's rattling some cages and rattling some of these fans, confidence in this team, he's doing the right thing. There was a podcast actually that Chris Harris Jr. was on. If you want to chat about kind of what happened and what the news about was Joe Ortiz and the situation with Keenan Allen and everything. So Chris Harris Jr. came on the Let's Ride podcast, and he basically said, "Hey, look, Chargers made the right move." And he was shots fired to Keenan Allen. He was like, he doesn't find the end zone. And that's the reason why he got let go. And if you really break that down, and it sounds kind of bad to say, but I've always viewed Keenan Allen as that guy that could get you those third downs, get you maybe 1 extra yard of whatever third down you need. He's not that extra effort kind of guy. In a sense, he's been a guy that's very good on field to get you tons of possessions. but trying to get touchdowns is a little bit harder for him. He's never had a 10 touchdown season. He's only got 8 touchdowns, I think, twice in his career. And if you really look at some of the comparisons and saying like, let's say like DeAndre Carter, who I've always kind of viewed as the same kind of guy. He's had 78 touchdowns in his career, where Keenan Allen's in the 56 range of touchdowns, and they've been drafted at the same time. You know, Devontae Adams, elite guy, possession guy, could get you touchdowns. He's had multiple 10+ type touchdowns, 95 touchdowns in his career. Like, there is that thing that like we have to move on basically from a player. And this is
32 years old as well.
Right.
He's 32.
And he's getting older.
And think of it this way, guys. Well, actually, I think my next slide is actually. Oh no, it's actually Rashawn Slater. let me switch it up here. Let's actually put up Keenan Allen here, because look, the thing about Keenan Allen is he's 33 years old. It was his last year of his contract, folks. And guys, that's just part of it. Yes, and thanks, Rich. Yes, smash that like button. And by the way, guys, check out Rich's podcast. He does the Wild Wild West, so he talks about the AFC West. So check them out as well. Very cool podcast. We've been on it a couple times. But again, Wild Wild West. And Rich, maybe throw a little link into the the chat as well too. Yes, and Miguel, we are going to be live during the draft as well. Just so you know,
we will.
We are going live. I'd like to go every day. Well, maybe not every day, but at least the first 2 days. I mean, every day would be a little rough, be a little, anyways. But but again, the thing about Keenan Allen, I would say, look, I love Keenan Allen to death, but he's 32. Here's the other thing I would say on this, folks. In fact, let me, I need to switch my slides around just a second here, but these guys right here took a pay cut.
Yep.
Right here. Khalil Mack took a pay cut. And guess what? Joey Bosa took a pay cut. The reality is Khalil Mack came off his best year ever.
Yep.
Ever. And then Keenan Allen goes, well, I came off my best year. I don't want to take a pay cut. I'm like, wait a second. He could not possibly keep, Keenan Allen at the full rate, no pay cut. And then you got Khalil Mack, who came off his best year as well. So it became a principle of the matter type thing where you just couldn't keep the guy. You're like, dude, sorry. Like, hey, great. Khalil Mack had one too, but he's doing what's right for the team. We're going to talk more about what we're going to spend that money on, guys, because we have cash available to spend. But my point is you can't operate that way.
Well, in the big part of it is Keenan Allen did come off a career year, but Khalil Mack did too, and he took a pay cut.
And he took a huge pay cut.
I really think what it was is that Keenan Allen was butthurt that basically Williams got cut. His boy, if you know anything about him, they're absolute hanging out an offseason together. He got cut. Mike Williams even said that he didn't really have a whole heck of a lot of conversation with the new regime in town. So he already kind of knew the writing was on the wall.
Right.
So Keenan Allen kind of was more like, all right, man, you cut my boy, I'm out. I think he was just bitter. I think he was really bitter.
I think so too. Yeah.
Look, you have a great chance to be able to get somewhere with this team next year. It's like if history repeats itself about Jim Harbaugh, he's going to have a successful first year. And
guys,
he could even get to a Super Bowl potentially, or to an AFC championship game, or whatever it is. He ain't going to get that with the Bears. That's for sure. Like, it's kind of odd that Keenan Allen made that move, but once again, he wanted money, and I think it was a bitter move on his side.
Yeah, he said business decision is exactly the term he used. And I okay, I get it. Cool, money. And again, he doesn't have, I mean, look at another great example. Look at what's his name? Oh my God, Austin Eckler, right? Austin Eckler. He's there because he wanted money. That's all he wanted, right?
Basically.
But it is, it is what it is, man. Again, look, I'm sad to see him go, but the thing about Justin Herbert, though, man, that guy could fit a ball into any hole. Did that sound weird? That sounded weird the way I said that. A window. That sounded really weird. I didn't mean to say it that way. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, though. But
again, getting a little off the rails again.
Dude, my bad. Sorry, guys.
What are you looking into your screen over there, dude?
I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. Oh my God, dude. I'm over here having a mild stroke. So anyways, but yes, But again, it's one of those things where you have to sit back and ask yourself this question: what are we going to spend the money on now?
Yeah.
And again, I think these conversations have been in line for a while. So let's talk about where the money's going to go. And we could talk about over the cap, but I think the first one right here is Rashawn Slater.
Yep.
Folks, we got to get him locked up. Now, I'm going to ask you, James. I'm going to ask the chat.
Yeah.
If you are Justin Herbert, who would you rather have? Keenan Allen or Rashawn Slater?
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, dude, Rashawn Slater keeps you upright and healthy, and he's had injury issues, right? So you want a guy that's going to keep you upright. So my point is, you got to extend this guy. He's already viewed as one of the best, left tackles in the game. So, and he had a bit of an off season, so you probably could sign him and extend him cheaply at this moment. But anyways, general thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, even to say that, I mean, it's currently his 4th year of his contract, of his first contract, essentially. So he does have the ability to be able to have a 5th year option picked up, just kind of like what they did with Justin Herbert, and to what his 5th year is this year. For that contract, I think it's $19 million towards the salary cap. So technically they could just kind of wait till next year to pay him, but they could also obviously put him on an extension. They will probably just put a 5th year option on him for next year to probably hit the salary cap. Based upon valuations that I'm seeing with him, it's about $17 million a season right now, which is actually on the low end for the tackles, to be honest. So you could probably sign him at a cheaper pricing right now. If I was Rashawn Slater, it'd be like, do I want to bet on myself? I would probably say yes. I would probably bet on myself to be able to just wait to see what his season looks like this year. So you got to keep your left tackle. I mean, when you got an elite left tackle, I've heard some crazy people talking about, hey, what if we just, trade off Rashawn Slater for some picks, and then you just reset the clock on the rookie-based contract?
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that Joe Alt's going to be the elite left tackle guy, Like, it's kind of a risky move. I mean, Rashawn Slater's a stud. He literally says, don't help me on the left tackle. I want my guy on the left tackle. Like, I love to hear that.
He locks him down. And he locks him down.
Great tackle. So
you're going to see a lot. So he's a guy that we need to start putting some money. Look, we need to lock him up.
Yep.
And Justin Herbert wanted him. Again, remember, Justin Herbert got Shane Day back, his quarterback coach. That was definitely, and Easton Stick was a Justin Herbert guy back too. So let's be very clear about this. Like, Justin Herbert's asking for that's one thing I wanted too. I wanted Justin Herbert to say, hey, this is what I want. I think, again, I think for me, I would want to sign him up as soon as possible. Yep. Now, the other guy that needs to be extended is Josh Palmer. Again, dude, every time we have asked him to step up, guess what, folks? He's done great. Say what you want to say about, and remember, James, when we interviewed Asante Samuels Jr., who did he say was going to have a breakout season?
Yep.
Josh Palmer.
Yep.
And unfortunately, with the ball was distributed in kind of a weird way, but Josh Palmer, when he was on the field, he got 100 yards every time. So you could probably get him pretty cheap right now with his injuries and a few of the things right now. You could probably get a 2 or 3 year deal with him pretty cheap.
Yep.
So guys, like, don't get me wrong. Do I want Neighbors? Do I want Martin Harrison? Absolutely. But dude, we got Quentin Johnson. I know what you guys are going to say. I understand, but my point is, like, Palmer has been very good. And I think Quentin Johnson will come back. Dude, our wide receiver coach, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Sanjay, or what's the name?
Yeah. Sanjay Lowell or something like that.
Yeah. From Seattle.
Yep.
Dude, he has done a great job. I think they need to simplify the routes for QJ, and I think it'll be fine. But again, Palmer's good.
And Palmer, the thing about Palmer, man, like, he's learned a lot from Keenan Allen. I remember one game where Keenan Allen wasn't playing that game. And at the end of the game, he was like, hey, Keenan, remember what you told me? Yeah. Like, and it was like these routes that he basically had, like, Keenan Allen said, like, you got to do this at this point in time. And this is how this cornerback is going to look at this. And he just found ways to basically do great routes all around in that game and played well. I want to say it was a Broncos game, I think, like 2 years ago or whatnot. But he has learned a lot from Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And I think that he's a phenomenal route runner all around. And I think he could fit that Keenan Allen role absolutely great. I think Darius Davis is another guy that could do a very, very good job as an X factor based player, who I think was a little bit underutilized last year too.
Yeah. Yes.
With Quentin Johnston though, like I'm excited to be able to see him and how he grows this year. Like once again with Quentin Johnston, he's one of those guys that as long as if he could just sit there and figure out how to be able to use his hands and be a little bit better. And I just saw that. Yeah, exactly.
I saw the whole thing happen. Sorry, guys. I was supposed to be doing offside. No, my bad.
You're good. But with Quentin Johnston here, man, like the guy is the guy is a stud. I think that he just, once again, he was drafted to be a guy sitting at the 4 spot wide receiver, maybe even 5th spot. But obviously injuries came through that he wasn't prepared and ready to go. And I really honestly, truly feel Telesco just drafted him just to sit back and wait till this year kind of thing. Yeah. And when Jim Harbaugh came in, it seemed like Quentin Johnston and Jim Harbaugh had some conversation already. And I think he's going to be ramped and ready to go this season. I think there's a great chance Quentin Johnston has a great season up and coming. And it's more almost also a little bit of fingers crossed. I really hope that he's going to be that dude. And I'm excited to be able to see what Quentin Johnston can do this season. I think he's going to have a good, solid offseason.
So I watched a video last night, okay, about Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors and the differences between both of them. Marvin Harrison is very good at using his hands and in sort of creating separation right at the line using his hands. Quentin doesn't do that, and he should because he's a big dude. So I'm really hoping they can add some physicality to him. And because there's things you could do. You could kind of guys, you got the 5 yards to be physical with the corner or whoever's covering you. You can do the same thing. And that's where he needs to improve his game too. And also he needs to improve his general route running. You kind of knew he was going to run a go route almost every time, but he's a slant guy. And the other thing too is he was also in the X spot, which X means you're lining up on the line. So you are going to get more press man, and he wasn't beating press man in the NFL. So I'm very curious how they utilize him this season. I wouldn't be shocked if they use him more in the slot, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to say this. I'm not quite sure how they're going to use him, but I think they're going to try and make him a little bit more physical, right? And he's got the body for it. He's fast as hell. Dude, he's big. He's big.
Well, and so, if you look at a lot of his TCU highlights, like he's great about like getting the ball in his hands and having quick feet to turn around. He was a yak guy. Like he was a yak guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, dude. Big John, that's absolutely true, dude. I mean, crayon for his playbook, dude. It's terrible. But
don't even get me started on his pattern match zone defense. You're like, what are you talking about? I mean, in theory, it made sense, I suppose, but in reality, it just never worked, right? So, hey guys, and again, throw questions out as well too. We'll try and weave it into the conversation too. But again, QJ, Josh Palmer, great. And again, people, like we said, we've stopped talking about Darius Davis, old lightning bug, dude. Hey, bro, he's good. I was a little shocked that they didn't use him more for the downfield stuff, and then Jalen Guyton's still out there as well too. I don't know if they're going to sign him. I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out, but Guyton's a cheap guy you could get. You could probably spend $1 million on him and get him back. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back as well too.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they just go after like a Tyler Boyd or something too. I mean, get a vet guy in there. Like, and to be honest, guys, one guy I think that we're really truly sleeping on, and we've had some Seahawks fans jump in the chat. He said Will Disley was underutilized heavily in the offense, and I'm kind of betting that Will Disley could be a big sleeper signing for us this season. I mean, that guy blocks. He probably could be our starting tight end, to be honest. He looks like he could catch really, really well. I mean, I think Will Disley could have a phenomenal season this season. I'm excited to see how that all pans out for us. And I mean, say Hayden Hurst, like as long as that guy could stay healthy, like he's got some issues all around, but he was a first-round pick with the Ravens some time ago and played well. Like he's just got the injury issues all around, and he's been stuck with Carolina too, and that place is a mess all around. So
that place is a disaster. So there's a lot to be said about Q. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, we are going to pick up a wide receiver in the draft. I promise you that.
Guarantee we will.
So the big question would be, are we going to go get a Tyler Boyd, somebody like that? I think it's going to boil down to what happens with Josh Palmer and Rashawn Slater. OBJ, I don't know about him. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing about OBJ, in my opinion, I don't know. He'll probably want a lot of money. He got paid crazy money with the Ravens, if I remember correctly. Didn't get like $15 million or something like that, right? It was
something like that. Yeah,
bananas.
It was like a pretty good check. I mean, I remember even last year him talking about that was going to be his last season playing football. Like, and so I don't know, is that true, or is just selling us wolf tickets? You know, who knows? But
wolf tickets.
That's an old school term.
Wait, I don't know if I remember that. Wolf
it's
tickets.
A real term. It's a real term. Search it, dude. Wolf tickets. While you wolfing, bro.
I could use the Googles. Let's check it out. I'll use the Googles. Yeah. So there's just a lot to be said. Yeah, I like Boyd or Renfro. Renfro you could probably get very cheap. But again, I think the coaching is going to be a big situation there. I truly believe that our coaching staff last season was not that great. We're already one of the highest paid coach. I think we're close to $30 million a year. Say what you want to say about the Spanos family, but they're spending money like crazy right now. So it's going to be good.
Well, and the one thing too, going back to Joe Ortiz, I mean, he talked about, which once again, we've always kind of talked about, like, how involved will the Spanoses be with whatever moves we decide to do. They actually said literally, like, hey, full reign, guys. You could do whatever you want, pretty much. Yeah. And if you wanted to move on from Allen, that's on you guys. And actually, it is still wolf tickets, guys. To sell wolf tickets is an expression that's about 60 years old. It means to oversell yourself, to spread boasts or threats that you can't or won't back up. It was first recorded in writing in 1963, and the sociologist noted it was used by gang members in Chicago.
So you did use the Googles. I like that. You Googled it.
Wolf
I like that. Okay, I gotta remember that. That might have to be my new gamer tag. You just killed wolf tickets. I like that. All right, so Ethan's got a question here. Andrew, my bro, this is for you. Talking about the team's identity. It takes 3 or 4 games of the season, bro. I'm lost at OTA training camps. We should not wait till the season. I kind of agree with you on that. What I think you're saying is that we should probably play in preseason, have some players play a little bit.
Yep.
We did not play at all last season. I think it took 3 or 4 games for us to get out of the gate. I too think that we need to have we need to play a little more, especially if we're going to be changing our identity as a team as much as we are. This team is completely different. So I do think we need to make that happen and get some reps in, man. I mean, because we are going to power the football, folks.
Yep.
Dude, it is a different football team. We're not going to see light boxes anymore. They're going to be stacking the box, so it's going to be pretty big.
You know, I want to throw out there, guys, because, I mean, they did talk about Gus Edwards, too, and basically being the bell cow for us. He's going to be that goal line guy. He's going to be that guy to get us at extra yards and everything, too. There's a lot of talks about people, like, going after J.K. Dobbins. I mean, that guy
I was just going to
easily a phenomenal running back. I mean, he is an extremely talented running back, just can't stay healthy. Like, series of unfortunate events for this guy all the time. But you could sign that guy for probably vet minimum right now and just take a flyer on the guy. What's $1.2 million at this point? Like,
that's chump change, son.
That's chump change, baby. And then you could still go draft a Marshawn Lloyd or like a Braden Allen or whatever it might be. Like, you could go out there and get another guy and just, you have Isaiah Spiller, Gus, JK, and then whoever you end up drafting. Like,
throw a little lightning bug out there too.
Lightning bug, yeah, X Factor, man.
Lightning bug out there.
Yeah,
dude, I love Lightning Bug, dude. That kid, dude, bro. Hey, we still need to play. Pickleball with Lightning Bug.
Whoa, we got Jim Harbaugh's burner in the house. Let's go,
Jimmy. We need you on the pod. Let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Hey, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the garage sale you had this week too. What'd you do with that money, by the way? You know,
that garage sale was so funny, dude. That was hilarious, dude. But again, guys, I really truly am. I'm a little torn on what happens because to me, man, you really want a guy like a Malik Neighbors or if Marvin Harrison's there, I don't know that you pass up on that guy,
It's
dude.
hard. It's hard to pass
I just
up.
don't know that you do, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
But bro, yeah, Blake Corum was also with. They were on pro day. They were, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm like, why did they even need to be at pro day? But okay, whatever. But dude, it could happen, man. I mean, Corum. So one of the things I will say again, J.K. Dobbins, you could sign. I think I saw the going rate for him was like $3 million a year or something like that.
I don't know about
super
that.
cheap amount of money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, get him, dude. A 1-year prove it deal. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
So, to me, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to just go take a flyer on the guy that's been in the system. It could be a 1-2 punch thing. You would hope that J.K. Dobbins could get past, training camp and just be a guy that you could actually, rely on. I mean, this guy is a very, very good back. Now, I'm not saying you don't go out there and get a Blake Corum or anything. I'm guaranteeing we're drafting somebody. I mean, Blake Corum said, hey, draft me and we'll go win a Super Bowl kind of thing. Like, it makes a ton of sense that we're going to go get some Michigan guys. And now, would it be in the second? Probably not the second round. I mean, it's probably going to be a fourth round is exactly where I think we're going to draft a running back. And you could get some good guys in fourth round. We got 2 fourth-round picks. So I think it would be a great, great area for us to basically go after.
Yeah. So guys in the chat, who do you think we draft? Maybe in order, are we going to go wide receiver, tight end, lineman, cause to me, I think a wide receiver, running back, lineman, like a right tackle.
Yep.
Probably need a linebacker and cornerbacks. Yeah. That's the other one I was thinking about.
Massive. I mean, people are talking about like if at 11, it would be a great idea to be able to go get Arnold, like Terry and Arnold. I mean, get the top corner. I mean, we need a corner like bad.
Yeah. Well, we did sign a corner. I will say this, we signed a corner. And again, what are you guys' thoughts on this corner that we signed? I'm a fan. And a lot of people, it was so funny. I kept seeing a lot of people say, oh, he sucks. He's horrible. And dude, look, here's the thing. He is very, very talented. Yep. I think he was in the wrong system. And when I saw his highlights, I thought, man, he's good. Now, he did also have health issues as well. So, he had a hamstring issue. There's all these other things going on. But I think he'll do well in this system. But think about our 4 corners we have now, folks. We have 4 good corners. Yep. Asante, he'd probably be number 1. Fulton would be number 2. And then we'd have Leonard and then Jasir Taylor. Yep. And that's good enough. So when we say we have, when we say best available, well, we got 4 decent corners right now. Not anybody locked down, but not many teams have a lockdown corner either. Right. Yep. So I think this guy will be very good for us. And again, we're not the best, but we're probably going to have to go after, I don't know, Xavier Howard. He's one. He's still out there. But then, corners want a lot of money. So that's why I think we might pick up a corner pretty early in the draft and go from there. Yep. So, I'm very curious to see what everyone's thoughts are on that as well.
Well, the whole thing with Fulton too, I mean, the guy, he might be in the wrong system, but it's funny because, and I hate even kind of thinking this, but he's been having a lot of issues with staying healthy. It kind of gave me the shades of like this Jason Verrett situation, like extremely talented, but just cannot stay healthy. Like, and that concerns me a lot there. I mean, Joe Ortiz actually said an actual page out of Brandon Staley's book. He's like, I'm always going to get corners, and you can never have too many corners. Like, he's going to get some more corners all around. And if it's going to be vet guys, it's going to be drafted guys, they're going to be looking at corners quite a bit. So he said, look, I need 6 corners minimum, and guarantee you I'm going to be looking at other guys. I'm confident with the money that we have. We're going to be looking at training camp cuts. We're going to be looking at the end of training camp type cuts. We're going to look at mid-season acquisitions, which when was the last time that the Chargers had a mid-season acquisition of a player and like paying to get a player that got cut or getting traded or whatever it might be? This is going to be an interesting season. It's a completely different era of how this Chargers team is going to operate. But with Fulton, it's a good high value, prove it kind of deal. A guy that actually did play extremely well at some points. but just it boils down to health. And you'd hope that this guy would be able to fit extremely well for us.
Yeah, and again, it's depth, right?
Yep.
Say what you want to say about it. It's depth. Does he have to be, Snead, who just got traded, by the way?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like him to be, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot of things we'd like, right? But I think that, you're right. Big John, new scenery, new scheme. Here's Aether's question here, James. You want to take a crack at it?
Let's say we are a playoffs team. So we got to go pick low in the draft, but we have money. Do you believe that we'll go for a big fish hunting and free agency, trying to win the Super Bowl, or they stay with the process? We ain't going to stay for the process. That's Telesco's. Just like the point I said, Joe Ortiz is going to find ways to elevate this team. And that's one thing that Telesco never did. He always was like, all right, well, let me just get this guy off the street, bring him on in, was it Jalen Hankins or whatever it is, or Hawkins? Like bringing in guys
he signed somewhere else too.
Yeah,
he signed with
just signed somewhere. Yeah, I think it was something like that. But once again, we're not going to fill these gaps with these type of guys. We want to be able to go out and try to get a guy that elevates this team to put it to a next level of some sort. So I cannot see this team doing that. Once again, Jim Harbaugh isn't here just to get to the playoffs. He's here to win Super Bowls. That's a different mentality, just to say, I just want to eke into the playoffs and we'll figure it out from there. No, I'm here to win Super Bowls, period. You got to make power moves, basically, to be able to get to that next level as a team. So I believe we will go after the big fish.
Yeah. And by the way, if the money's available, he's going to do it for making moves during the season as well, which Telesco was never a fan of at all. So, by the way, this is the other, free agents that we talked about once or twice before, but it did, again, J.K. Dobbins, I really like, maybe Xavier Howard, Adoree Jackson. I think he signed, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And again, it's going to be an interesting situation to think about, Tre'Davious White. He's the one that signed. That's right.
I was going to say he signed. I don't remember where he ended up signing, but did he sign? I'm seeing free agent still, but I think he's still available everywhere.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said about other people we could even go after now, but I do think that they're really working on the Rashawn Slater and Josh Palmer situation right now. I think, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Who do you guys think we should go after in free agency in the chat? Again, my number one on that list right now is J.K. Dobbins. I think you could get him very cheap, guys. Very, very cheap. And guys, we're going to smash the ball down the other team's throat. That's what they're going to do. And we talk about wide receivers, and I get it. But the other conversation is, how many wide receivers do we need? If we're running two tight end sets 90% of the time, which it sounds like we are, we don't need, a lot of wide receivers. We're not spreading it out. We're not going to have 4 wide receivers on the field. We're going to have a running back, 2 tight ends, and 2 wide receivers, and that's it. So we're going to be rotating through people a lot, right? So we already got 2 good wide receivers. Well, Quentin Johnston isn't fully proven as a wide receiver.
To be determined.
But you get my point, right? But again, another one would be good. So I'm just trying to put it in perspective that, again, I would almost even say that Brock Bowers has moved up in my mind over anybody else at this point, because dude, that guy's great, and you're right. The trading back with Minnesota makes a lot of sense. Again, we'd get the thought is 11 and the 23, but we'll see.
Yeah, and the one thing too about, I watched some old footage of the Ravens with Greg Roman as the head coach there. There was a lot of, obviously, power packages, double tight end type situation, but there was a lot of times that they did end up throwing some 3 and 4 wide receiver sets out there. You can't stay 2-1 note basically all around. It sounds like they will do that. They are very much in a power football type thing. But the thing is, my concern about Greg Roman is that it seemed like there was a lot of curl route type situations too. Get to the spot, turn around, get the ball kind of thing. And, that could benefit QJ a little bit, because I think that that's kind of more his game, in my opinion, that and slants. I'm interested to see what Greg Roman does with this passing offense. Yes, we're power football for sure, through and through. but we basically do need to find a way to be able to have some wide receivers out there. I wouldn't feel comfortable with the wide receivers that we have right now without having a vet of some sort. Well, we definitely need to find a vet, and I'm guaranteeing we're going to go out and draft a guy. Like if we get a Brendan Rice or something like that, I'd be excited about that. A pedigree guy, Jerry Rice's son, local guy at here and there in LA. It would be perfect. It would be a perfect fit. I mean, and the guy does a great job of downfield routes. If you look at any of his highlights with him and Caleb Williams, I mean, he gets a great opening downfield and finds separation. Not the fastest guy, but he finds a way to be able to run great routes. And that's what Keenan Allen essentially was. Not the fastest guy, but find a way to get open.
Yeah, and one of the things about being an in the trenches type of team, and again, the defensive line is pretty weak as well too. I mean, we do probably need a defensive lineman. We haven't talked about that. We need pretty good defensive linemen. And you're right. We're going to be in the trenches now. Think of all the teams that made the playoffs last season too, right? The Chiefs. Make no mistake about it. They were not good offensively. They were okay. They were okay. That's it. But the defense is what really got them to the Super Bowl. And so, there's also some things to be said about that. Now, one thing I will say, and going back to these guys right here, and looking at like Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, and Thule, what was the statistic that I think Daniel Popper said? Was it 44 snaps?
Yeah.
And they had 11 sacks or something like that. So like a 25% sack rate.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's crazy, guys. And so think of it this way. Again, Herbert's going to score points.
Yep.
The guy could throw anybody open. It's not going to be an issue. But you also need tight ends to catch the ball. You need tight ends. My feeling is they're probably going to use tight ends as fullbacks. So what they'll do is they'll probably have two tight ends on each side. Maybe one guy comes back, lines up as a fullback, or he goes in motion and then creates a hole to the right or left side, A gap, B gap, or whatever on the offense. But the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be pretty interesting because what Jesse Minter's defense really does is he disguises what he's going to do. He's not going to let people know, we're cover two, we're cover whatever. Again, Brandon Staley, everyone knew he was running the stupid ass pattern match zone defense. Everyone knew crosses were going to be open every time. But you're going to see a lot of interesting ways of moving the ball downfield. I can't remember. Let me look it up. I cannot remember what Jesse Minter's 4 pillars are. Let me pull it up here.
Well, the one thing too, and I watched this video talking about Brandon Staley's defense and how basically he was like the same thing over and over. If there was one player at the line, they're going to play press or man-to-man. If they were all off coverage, they're going to play all off coverage. It was like pretty much the same thing they did over and over. And at the defensive line, they never did stunts at all. It was like literally just rush your guy and try to beat the guy in front of you kind of thing. It was never like trying to find a way to make, one player go around another player and create a little bit more chaos and find a way to be able to get to the quarterback. Once again, I got excited when Thule Mack and Bosa will be back together next year. They wanted to run it back. And I think Bosa was really, really sad that he couldn't be out on the field because they kind of felt like last year was going to be the last year of them together. Yeah. And look,
they did it again. Yeah.
And they got it again. They got another chance. And that's awesome. Like every time Thule Mack and Bosa get sacks, like just to the stat that we talked about, a 25% hit rate of getting sacks on 44 snaps. Incredible, guys. Like that defense could be just an absolute menace at the D line. And the same side, you kind of think about the quarterback side of things or cornerback side of things. I mean, if you create havoc up front, your back end's going to look a lot better, whoever's back there, pretty much. Like,
and boys, we all like the back end, right? You know what I mean? The caboose, the ladies' caboose. Yep.
Let's go.
Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. What is that, man?
I don't know. I was thinking about, ladies. Anyways, good wide receiver. So I pulled this up. Okay. The other side. So this is the 4 pillars of Jesse Minter's defense. Block destruction, which I think is great. Because think of it this way: when you're the defensive lineman, the whole point of the whole point of a defensive lineman is to jam the A gap, jam the B gap. If you think that's where the ball is going to go, just jam it and then bounce it out or bounce it inside, whatever. Right. So do not let the blocks go where they're supposed to go, right? So the guard pulls, GT counters, all the above. Shocking effort, which arguably we did not have shocking effort last year. There was some times I was like, my God, we're like not rushing to the ball.
Yeah.
Team tackling, pretty bad. Ball disruption.
Yep.
Which could be, obviously in the air, that's a little more of a corner type situation, and obnoxious communication. So those are the 4 pillars: block disruption, shocking effort, ball disruption, obnoxious communication.
Yep.
All 4 of those things were not great last season for the Chargers defense.
No.
I'm just really hoping that gets translated well to us this season. If that happens, guys, we're going to be at least top 10 defense, at least.
Yep.
At least. So,
well, and you look at like the signing, like the Poona Ford signing, like I really feel like that's like putting that butt and gut in the middle, which we desperately have not had for a very long period of time. Somebody even talked about Morgan Fox. Like it's kind of one of those guys that I keep forgetting about a little bit, but
yeah, he's good.
But he's a good player. Like
speaking of butt, dude, I'll tell you, Megan Fox. I tell you what, dude. Okay.
Man, she's crazier than 2 cats in a bag, dude.
She is batshit crazy. She is batshit. Hey, whatever.
Oh yeah. She is crazier than 2 cats in a bag. Stop, dude. Stop. Stop, man.
2 cats in a bag? Never heard that.
2 cats in a bag, man. You put 2 cats in a bag, they just wrestling in there, dude. They're going wild.
I'm learning things all day today. Wolf tickets. I never heard that. I never heard that. 2 cats in a bag. All right, this is great.
Man, wild, dude. But look, I mean, this D-line is kind of filling out quite a bit. And I do think that we're going to still go out there and draft a bit. But Poona Ford is going to be that guy that if he could take 2 people at one time and get double teamed, and then if you had Thule Mack and Bosa on the line at the same time, dude, it's going to be dangerous for this team. This team could be an all-time sacks leader if they all stay on the field healthy. It could be a wild, wild D-line. And if you look at a lot of the teams out there, like the Niners, the Chiefs, I mean, really, they just got one big guy in the middle with Chris Jones being the disruptor all around. But people get better around players with a ton of talent like that. And that's the big thing that I'm excited to be able to watch. I mean, I'm glad to see that Bosa and Mac did come back.
Well, but let's make no mistake about it. Bosa took a pay cut. I think it was $9 million or $7 million, something like that. It's a lot of money.
Cut. Yeah.
But think of it this way too. He's also on a prove it deal where if he gets 10 sacks, he gets an extra. He gets that like $9 million back, right? So he gets that money back, right? So
prove it, make it happen.
No, so let's talk about Bosa really quickly because I really want to go back to Bosa. I love this guy to death. He looks like John Matuzak, dude. You guys ever see Revenge of the Nerds, dude? Come on, he looks like John Matuzak. Do you remember that when he goes nerd? Yeah, he looks.
I've met him before.
I swear. Yeah, John Matuzak.
Yeah, I met him. Yeah.
Oh my God,
he's a great dude.
Anyway, but I think that bullshit with him going down to Florida and training with whoever the hell he was down there, that's done.
Yeah.
I promise you, in his restructuring, they said, you're done with that. You're not hanging with your bro. You're not hanging with your dad down in Florida, probably fishing in the evening or whatever. That's gone, dude. Sorry. Yeah. You are going to train with Ben Herbert and get your shit right because it hasn't worked. Right? Like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's the same thing even when we think about Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and just having all these weapons for Justin Herbert. It didn't work. It never worked.
Never worked.
So, you got to switch things up. And I guess that's kind of the feeling I'm getting with this entire situation. And guys, Wolfgang Puck is going to be making the food for that place. Sign me up.
I'm in. I'm
gonna sneak in, dude. Yeah, I'm the new starting center, bro. Like, you better give me a pizza or something. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's some high-end eating, dude, and I'm hyped. Like, that's incredible.
Sign me up. Wolf tickets. Wolf tickets.
And the big part of it is
am I using that right? Probably not.
I think the players could actually report to the team on April 1st because there's a new regime and they get basically 2 weeks earlier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Put in a system. So we're close to seeing some footage of basically players being with the coaching staff and having a part of the system and understanding how everything's going. I'm interested to see how many players show up and these guys better show up. Like it should be everybody is there at that time. it's exciting to see what Bosa and Ben Herbert are going to basically figure out. Bottom line, we got to get him right. You got to get his body right. I get it. When you have an injury, it's very much difficult to get to 100% of where you were at before that point in time. But got to make sure we could get, and in the food grades, for the facilities, like, was really low. I remember it was just last year, I think Gerald Everett showed off a photo of a burger or something that looked like it was out of some like elementary school, like
horrible,
cafeteria or something. I was like, bro, this is harsh. So I don't know. Either way, this offseason is going to be very fun to watch what happens here. And Joey Bosa definitely should be there with the team.
And again, there's a lot to be said about your food, right? Again, he was eating what 6,000 calories last season to bulk up a little bit. Whatever he was but this goes to just show you what Brandon Staley did. He let his guys do whatever he wanted. Okay, cool. You're going to be fine. I'm not going to micromanage you. But the problem with that is that doesn't really work, especially with players, because players need some direction. They need some focus, and they need some, hey, how am I going to fix my body? Ben Herbert is an absolute walking ball of testosterone, dude. You see the videos of that guy? Holy smokes, bro. That guy is crazy. Yeah. I mean, that guy's like, he probably does a key bump of cocaine before every game. I would imagine, dude. No joke, dude. And,
maybe he's got the blue chews. Maybe he's got the blue chews,
Passing out the blue chews before and after. That's straight up. Dude, blue chew central.
I fully imagine the off season. You know that video of Rashawn Slater when he's at Northwestern and he's like benching 450 or squatting 450 or something like that. Like, dude, I might have been even more than 450 or whatever, but I imagine like that's going to be that effort in the locker room where everybody's just going to be so hyped, so excited. They're just going to basically hype each other up. Somebody's going to just go there and straight bench some like beyond weight, basically, and just it's going to be an exciting locker room because I always felt like the locker room is just like, hey guys, let's go lift some weights and hang out and pop on some music. Now I think like he's going to put these dudes to work. Like it's going to be awesome.
Well, so a lot of what I saw as far as the training, by the way, I had to show this Poona Ford photo. I just think it's hilarious. His face and his belly. I just think it's hilarious. Like I watched it. I was like, man, that is like the best photo, dude. It's just hilarious to me. Again, when you talk about block destruction, that's what this guy does. He's just going to be in people's face and mess up the play. Anyways, I just thought it was awesome. I had to show it. So I do a lot of CrossFit training, a lot of burpees, a lot of annoying stuff. But the thing about that is it does get your body. It's not just lifting weights. It's also getting your body to be flexible and ability. Like, who's the baseball player? What was his name? The guy from Japan that was really good before Shohei. Shohei might be like playing anymore. Suzuki or Mariners. Yeah, that guy. He never lifted weights. If you guys know what his name is, do you know how he trained
Ichiro
Suzuki? That's right. Do you know how he trained? He used Pilates machines, and it was basically a stretching machine. It was not about muscle for him. It was about making his body able to stretch and lengthening his muscles and making it kind of more of a flexibility type of thing. So, dude, I'm just saying there's different ways of training your body than just lifting weights. I've noticed when I lift weights a ton, it's like you start getting really tight and you can get injured easier, in my opinion. So you need to do a little bit of both. I get the impression Ben Herbert's going to be doing that as well too. Yeah, and you're right, guys. You guys are smarter than us. Trust me. Thank you for. Because I kept thinking like, what the hell's that guy's name? But he's incredible. So
great
player. A lot to discuss on that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I would hope that Ben Herbert would probably do a lot of that kind of stuff too. Probably put these guys on like routines to be able to not just say, hey, keep lifting as much weight as you possibly can, this, that, and everything. It is also about flexibility. And I think one thing Ben Herbert talked a lot about was ankles too, and strengthening your ankles a ton. And, that's kind of been an issue with a lot of things with Joey Bosa for some time with foot issues and everything. It kind of leads to potential hamstring injuries, which, wow, I could remember how many times people got bad hammies with the Chargers in the last couple of years. I mean, it's incredible. So it's going to be great to be able to see that, guys. Like, I'm excited for this offseason. I'm excited to be able to see kind of what's going on with this team when they do report to the new staff on the 1st. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
So we could pull up, James, you want to pull up the over the cap as well too? I know we were So, okay. Yeah, that's right. He always would stretch. Yeah. And the thing about that is, especially when you get older folks, right? You know, your body, you need to stretch. You need your body to sort of, be ready for the game. And again, you stretch all the time anyways. But it's a big situation. And the dead cat money is pretty bad too, folks. It really is. I mean, I was like, oh my
dude,
God.
I hate looking at that. I hate
$20 million to JC Jackson still, dude. Oh my God.
It's ridiculous. It's
ridiculous.
Garbage, but yeah, currently we're at $35.3 million. So give or take 14 million of that's going to be utilized for draft. But there also is contracts that have not been officially thrown up there. The Bozeman, I think, is pretty small. Dye is pretty small. We know Perryman was it 3 million, I think, for 1 year?
Yeah.
Something like that. So give or take, you probably will be looking at, give or take, 31 million, probably $32 million ish that we probably have to spend. Now, this is the dead cap right here. Look at that. Like,
oh God,
20 million, JC Jackson, Mike Williams, 12 million, Keenan Allen, 11.6 million, Kendricks, 2.7, Sebastian Justin 2.5, Hopkins, 800,000, which is crazy to think he's getting double dipping right now. And it's crazy that Trey McKinney's still getting $210,000, not even playing in the NFL. Like, that guy's still getting paid, which that pick forever for me will always go back to. You could have got Amon-Ra St. Brown that that round, but then you went with Trey McKinney. I mean, we did also get Joshua Palmer that round too, but either which way, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, and Alex Smith, man, I'm a big fan of Hunter Renfrow. Like, that guy, to me, whatever it was, 2021 Hunter Renfrow was elite. Absolute elite. I don't know what happened there with him, but dude, I would be excited to get Hunter Renfrow. I mean, the guy, Andrew always says that he looks like a guy that'll sell you a Verizon phone too. He totally does. But I mean, that guy's an elite route runner. I mean, you watch some of his 3-cut routes, dude. Oh, nobody's blocking that, dude. Nobody's blocking that.
Yeah. What's the latest news on him? I know somebody said he was cut, which is interesting. Now, when we talk about the compensation picks, man, is it when a person's cut that doesn't count towards compensation picks? Is that right?
So comp picks are not based upon cuts. Comp picks only come around when you actually their contract is done. Like, their contract is completed. So
got it.
Basically, like Will Clapp, his contract was done. And there is a chance that you could get like a 7th round pick out of him. I mean, I saw Kenneth Murray could give us like a 6th round pick right now too. So
and Austin Johnson just signed with the Bills too, so he'll get paid fairly well too. So that wouldn't be another one also. Oh, and then Nick Williams hasn't signed as well, dude. That could be 5 comp picks next year.
Yep,
bro, that is crazy, dude.
You get a lot. I mean, this team is set up to basically get a lot of draft picks. Now, it probably would be a lot of back end type draft picks too.
Yeah,
but the same side, it's fine. I mean, the Keenan Allen trade, there was a rumor about basically getting a 3rd round pick next year from the Texans. Chargers took a 4th this year. I mean, it's about this year, not next year right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
yeah, and again, guys, this team is very different, right? We were very much a finesse team, right? And now it's going to be smash mouth and physicality. If you watch the national championship game and you see the way that the Michigan won that game in the 4th quarter, you just knew they had more juice left in the tank and they were going to smash the ball down your throat.
Asante Samuel Jr. got a pair of Bolt Bros shades at the event.
Hey,
let's go! That's
so sick. That's so sick, dude. He was so cool, guys. Like, when we interviewed him, I really loved chatting with him.
Great. And then here's a picture of Kyle and Asante, if that even comes up or anything like that. It's kind of blurry, but
that looks great, dude. That's exciting, guys. Dude, you guys know how much money he wants? $200 million. Jettas, dude.
Yeah,
bro, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I've thought of some weird ideas. If you go back to understand what Joe Ortiz talked about, he says, I don't mind paying or getting a big time player and basically just letting him walk after too. Yeah, and Vato is another guy that will probably get a comp pick out too, out of contract, sign somewhere else. I mean, we have a chance to get a lot of calm picks all around, guys. It's crazy. It's good to see. But go back to Jetta's, like, if we found some weird way that we end up getting him for a 5th year, option, I mean, we have the money to essentially do that.
Yeah.
And let him walk and then go get a 3rd round pick next year because somebody's going to throw $200 million at him. I mean, there's a chance that could happen. I mean, I know Aether's just trying to keep his $200, but like, I don't know, bro. I mean, I just don't see it happening. But I mean, if you go and look at comparisons to say a Malik Neighbor, a lot of people say Malik Neighbor is basically a Justin Jefferson and a Jamar Chase combo, pretty much. Like, that sounds great to me. If you get them, awesome. We got an elite number 1 guy.
Well, and you're right, but I think that the thing that you have, the cool thing about the comp picks, because I can't remember. Let me pull up the comp picks that the Niners got. They got
I think they got 5 last season. Or
5 last season. I was like, what in the hell, dude? And I'm like, so I'm telling you right now, I promise you, this is moving forward. We're going to at least target 10 draft picks every single year.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great.
And that's what we want. I don't know if this is the question that Aether was talking about. I heard a lot about us trading back with Minnesota. I'm not buying unless the Vikings give up another 1st round. I don't know if that's the one he was chatting about or not. But...
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, or maybe it's this one. Oh. Don't be shocked if Joe Ortiz trades back again, 37 for 46 plus a 3rd and 4th. I mean, once again, like, I'm a big fan of just going out there and just getting as many top 100 picks as we possibly need. Like, get top end talent, guys. Or maybe it's this one. James, I got a question, my baby. Please, Coach Harbaugh is Commander-in-Chief for our team. Game on the line. Is he making the final call or trust coordinators? Do it. Let me hear you, please. He's a fiery guy. He's a fiery guy. I wouldn't know right now who would really make those calls. Like, I think he trusts his coordinators, but I mean, that guy's a fiery dude. So probably after year 1, I'd probably have a better idea. I really don't even know how to answer that right now. I don't know Jim Harbaugh enough as a coach to would he intervene at that point to make the right call? I guarantee his hands are very involved. He likes to be very involved. But I really don't know if he's going to say, "Hey man, you got it. I trust you," kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll take a crack at it. I think he would let his coordinators just make the call. And the reason being is I don't feel like they, I think bottom line, all that stuff is figured out well before the game even starts. Right. And, managing the clock, all the above, they're just going to say, okay, cool. Let's just go with what we already discussed and move forward and have a couple plays. We even know that happened with, Staley and Moore. They just didn't execute it very well. Right. So, I mean, they just, that was just a really weird situation altogether.
Man, how many times did we go on here just trying to, defend Brandon Staley? And it was just like, gosh, like it was just like the repetitive, outcome and the heartbreakers to the heart attacks to, man, just mind-numbing choices of running the ball 2 times on a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1, and you still don't get the 1st down kind of thing, and always running up the gut. Like, there's so many things that you're just like, dude, what are we doing? 3rd and longs. Like, how many times 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9 always gives up 14 yards or something like that? Like, it was so ridiculous, man. And I'm glad we're past that, because I really feel this whole new era for the Chargers is going to be such a different type of look all around, man. Yeah.
That's my GM. Oh, dude. Well, the funny thing, though, is now we know what a good GM looks like, folks. Yeah. And again, I understand that these aren't splashy moves. Let me make this very clear. These are not splashy moves, but they're cheap moves. They're veterans. Yep. And guys, even in the draft, it's still kind of a crapshoot. No matter how you think this person's going to play, there's still an option where you got to figure out, how are they going to fit in the system? Are they going to show up every day? Are they going to work their ass off? Are they going to do anything? They might get lazy, right? So, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said about this. All right, so we're going to do a mock draft real quick. I think we got some time for a mock draft real fast. Now, we're going to go quick. We're going to go 4 rounds. That's it, okay? And no hubbubs. Let's just go with it.
In 4 rounds, it's 5 picks, I believe, too, right? Yeah.
Well, 5 picks. It's 5 picks. But guys, we gotta go quick. So if you're ready to go, please refresh your browser or go to the front so you can see what we're picking up here. So let's go. Okay. So do we do our trade back here? So with 14 and 45, you only got 1 with New Orleans. Okay, guy, do we take the trade back or Marvin Harrison's available?
Ooh, this is gonna be it, guys. Are we going offense, dude? And actually, I saw somebody talking about the mock draft. They're saying you could essentially have first 10 picks could be all offensive players. You could get a top tier defensive guy at 11. That's crazy. But anyways, complete side subject all around.
Andrew Copeland, you'll get a super chat for $300 for my wife. Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh my
God. Let's go.
Take it. You toss it in there now, bro. We'll take it.
We'll take that cash. Let's go.
We'll take it. All
right. So do we trade back or do we keep the wide receiver, keep the pick? Aether says, I need a wide receiver. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, Ray says you got to take him.
Yep.
I mean, it is one of those guys you just say, hey, look, dude, it's a hard one to pass up.
He's so good. He's, one of the things I will say, here we go. Yeah. Tavondre Sweat, bro. That's okay. So that's my other thing too. We do need to get a good defensive lineman, someone that, again, the block disruption piece is huge. You remember when I had that hard on for that guy from Georgia? What was his name? Davis? What was that
Jordan
big
Davis?
Jordan Davis. Man, dude, I wanted that guy so bad, dude. Never wanted a man more in my whole life, but I'm just saying, dude, that guy, dude, he's been good, but he's also been injured a lot in the NFL season. So
right.
Take the pick. Okay, looks like everyone's saying take the pick. All right, I'm down with that idea. Okay.
Yep. Take him.
Reject. Because to me, look, this guy is a freak of nature.
It's a generational guy, and once again, pedigree. You can't avoid that. You go with it.
Yep.
You have to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Okay, so we got a trade offer. Okay, so 37th. The 253. Well, that doesn't really matter. That's our comp pick. I believe that's our comp pick. Yeah. And then 55 and let's reject that one. What do you guys think? So should we stick and Byron Murphy's there? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, and Byron then Murphy. So okay, what do we do, guys? Do we stick and pick or take the trade? I'm in favor of sticking and picking.
Yeah, I would either look at an O-line situation, like a center, or I would just stick and pick. What is the pick that they're trying to give you, by the way?
So we're going to get so we would get the pick 55 and then a 2025 second.
And we're at 36 or something like that.
37. Yeah, and then Byron Murphy's there.
Yeah.
Stick and pick. Okay, what does everyone think, guys? Pick. Okay, looks like we're all saying pick. Now, okay, so, all right, let's just reject. All right, folks, so we got Byron Murphy. Hey, we could get Bo Nix, another Oregon quarterback.
Somebody said in the chat, too, Tom Telesco would have chose Bo Nix. We got
Zach Frazier here. Zach Frazier's available. So Byron Murphy, Zach Frazier. Now let me give you my take on this. Our center that we got, he's freaking good. So
he'll be fine.
I'm a little at the point, and we still got Hymas, and Hymas played fairly well. I'm okay waiting on a center right now, just because I think the guy that we have is good.
Yeah.
Why am I drawing? Bronson? It's not Bronson.
Bozeman?
Bozeman, yes. But let's maybe look at wide receivers. Ladd McConkey's there. Let's see what tackles we got. Yeah, this guy, Jordan Morgan, I don't know much about him, quite frankly. But defensively, man, I don't know. Dude, this guy's good too. So what do you guys think? Then
we got one offensive right now. You want to say, hey, can I get a guy that could be a defensive guy and a game wrecker? I mean, if we go once again, if we have a guy that's just a big dude in the middle that could just be like, once again, like a Murphy, a guy that could just be just a game wrecker on top of Tuli Mac Bosa. I mean, defense wins championships. And as you could clearly see, that's exactly what the Chiefs did. Like, built a good defense, subpar offense, basically no wide receivers with an elite tight end.
Yeah, exactly.
Quarterback. You think, build that defense. Once again, I'm going to say that mock draft I threw in our community chat. You guys knocked me hard on that one, but I'm talking about building just a stout defense. Go back to the mid 2000s, guys. The whole, Sean Merriman defense, like that guy, dude, that was fun to watch, man. But you want a guy that just go out there and be a game wrecker. And by the way, Navarro Bowman was at the Texas Pro Day, by the way, too.
Yeah,
so,
he was.
They got a good look at Byron Murphy out there.
I think we would probably go for some guy like, if he's available. I mean, I like this. This is great right here too. This is great. Truly unhinged competitor.
I like it. A man with his hair on fire. Let's go.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's just like a really funny way of saying it. I don't know why. It just made me laugh. But
what about cornerback, by the way, too?
Yeah. So the cornerback was TJ Tampa. I don't know much about him, but this guy Rakenstraw is incredible. He's very good.
Yeah.
So, but I think you may be able to get him in the third. And again, you also have Sanders still as well too. So I don't know. I kind of think, let's go. He is not available. No. Murphy. So I'm thinking everyone's saying, So I'm thinking Murphy. What are we thinking, guys?
Dude, let's just make that D-line dangerous. Let's just make that D-line just absolutely just menaces.
Yeah, this guy's good, dude. All right, so let's go with him. Okay. 69 dudes. Oh, maybe we should. Oh, we do have another trade option here. Okay. Well, we get a fourth. 2 trade offers. Let's see what they got here. We don't like the Broncos. Screw them. Pick
Rich
80.
Is still on the live. He's probably mad.
Yeah. So okay, guys. I would go with this one. Pick 80 and 149, maybe. But
what pick are we at on 3?
This is 69.
69. Oh, that's right. Pick 69.
Tampa's good too, by the way. He's very good. Who was our first pick? Our first pick. Oh gosh, who was our first pick?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, that's right. We got Marvin Harrison. That's right.
Yeah.
So
again, it's got to be like a cornerback. It's got to be like a.
Yep.
I mean, you potentially could go as a Cedric Van Pran center if you want.
Well, we got Jatavian Sanders too. This tight end. That guy's freaking good.
Yeah,
bro.
He's good. And we have met with him, by the way, too.
Yes, we have met with him. So, okay, guys, who do we go? Screw the Broncos. This guy right here is. I don't know, dude. I really like this guy. I was let's see what they say here. The best catching prospect tight end. He's freaking good, dude. He's also big, 6'4", 255. Bro, that is huge. He won't be confused, especially effective run blocker.
Yeah,
that's kind of the big.
Yeah, that's probably a big knock because I always feel like what I'm interested about this draft is to see how many of these like pre-draft kind of evaluations of these guys saying like high physical, high motor, like guys with blocking ability, just a tenacity to them. Like that's where I feel like Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz is going to look at those guys. So so that's Sanders. People keep saying Sanders. I'm middle linebacker for sure. We definitely need that too.
Yeah.
Cornerback we definitely need. Is Peyton Wilson available?
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh, 60. Dude, that guy could be a mean dude.
So we got.
I'd have no problem going with that.
So okay, guys. So do we go with? Okay, so in the chat, Jatavian Sanders, Peyton Wilson. Oh man, this guy's good too. He won't fall this far. I don't think.
Is Junior Colson available too? Michigan linebacker.
No, he's not.
No. Okay.
Dude, that guy's strong too, man, for sure.
Very strong.
So Now we could even let's see what centers are available. Yeah, so we can get a center way late in the draft. Okay, all right, guys. So who do we go with? Do we go Jatavian Sanders, Peyton Wilson? Oh, this guy right here, Fisk, is really good. Also,
yeah, Braden Fisk.
We did meet with him also.
Yep.
Or, we do need a cornerback. So, who are you thinking, guys? What do you think?
Well, some people are saying Wilson. People are saying tight end too. There's this one guy. I might do a video this week about just who we've met with so far.
Yeah.
About some players, and there's this one tight end that kind of really came out of nowhere. That's kind of a deep end, way back end type tight end that could be from a small school that we met with.
Oh yeah,
could be kind of interesting. So
yeah, that guy, and we can pick him up pretty late. So, all right. So I'm seeing people say Sanders.
Go Sanders or Wilson. Sanders. Are we going defense or are we going offense?
Okay, yeah, defense or offense, folks.
Sanders.
All right,
Defense wins championship. Wilson. I'm a big fan of Wilson, man.
Okay, we got 2 more picks, folks. Okay. All right. 110. Oh, 8. Our boy's here. Mike. Cornerback. Sanders Hill.
Sanders Hill. Yeah, I'd go with him. Okay.
Now, we do need a running back too. So,
yep.
So Sanders Hill, but dude, you kind of can't pass this guy up, I think. Because I do, guys, I really do think we're going to sign J.K. Dobbins. I think it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a running back late. And I would not be surprised if we re-signed Josh Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah, because we can get him cheap.
Yep. He's a big back.
Sanders Hill. Dude, the thing about Sanders Hill that I like is he's pretty physical.
Very physical.
Colson or Wilson. Okay, so all right. Blake Fisher, doesn't he play chess?
Yeah.
He went to Notre Dame. Attack. See, here's the thing. I'm a big believer in a tackle too. Again, we're gonna smash the ball. I love how we're doing these mock drafts, and probably not even gonna be anything like this.
Not at all.
But, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, but Bucky Irving's good too. So I don't know. What do you guys think? So cornerback, Bucky Irving. What do you guys think?
Is it Wilson, the wide receiver? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I think he's talking about the
Hayden Wilson
linebacker, but he's gone.
Yeah.
This guy's pretty good too from Penn State, this cornerback.
Yeah,
but man, I think at this point, okay, guys, who are we thinking here? Linebacker Wilson. Who's this Wilson guy? Defensive tackle. All right. We need cornerbacks. We need
cornerbacks. Yeah. I mean, I still would go with Mike Sanders still.
Yep. So maybe let's say, all right, guys, Sanders Hill or Bucky Irving, or because we already got a defensive. Again, remember, guys, we already got a wide receiver, we got a defensive tackle, and we have a tight end. So
you got to go back to
2
defense.
Offensive players, maybe a defensive player.
Yeah. And I know our next 4th is pretty close too. So I mean, we could look at like running back or something at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And actually, it wouldn't be bad to even just look to see what running backs are available right now too.
Let's see. Running back. We can get this guy from New Hampshire. Yeah, let's pass on that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Marshawn Lloyd, dude.
Marshawn Lloyd would be a stud.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, I'm seeing enough people say yes, the wide receiver. We already got one. Running back. Oh, goodness, guys. Okay. We're all over the map. I love this. All right. So we're gonna do an executive deal. I saw enough people say Mike Sanders, so let's take this guy.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. One more pick, guys.
And if we could get Marshawn Lloyd, I would go Lloyd at that point. Yeah, Roman Wilson.
Yeah. All right, guys. So a lot of people said, "Oh no, you're good. You're totally good, guys. No problem." But okay, so what are we thinking now? So Sanders Hill got okay. So we're good. Yes, and I truly believe. And again, our cornerback room. Again, we got 4 cornerbacks right now, and we got a couple guys on the the bench, right?
Yep.
Will Cox and a few other players, but Who do we go with next? So we got Bucky Irving's available. We can still get a tackle. Now, again, I want you guys to answer this thought too. Do we believe in Trey Pipkins, right? I'm going to give you one of my thoughts on this. And here's the thought on like Joe Alt. If we want to run something like a GT counter, that's a guard tackle counter, which is basically the guard and the tackle run one way. I don't know that Pipkins is fast enough to make that run correctly, right?
Yeah.
You got to be pretty athletic to make that run. So I was thinking about him that way. That's where the Joe Alt comes into play, right? Because he used to be a tight end. He's very fast. He's very, well, not fast, but he's big.
Yeah.
So he'd be a road grader, right? So again, that's kind of my take on that. So I think that's why, like, again, having a nice right tackle would be good because those GT counter plays, again, those are power running game formations.
Yeah.
Could be really beneficial. So anyways, just a, thought. So what position do we take now?
Carlos brought up Ray Davis, Lloyd, or Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright, I think, killed it, didn't he? Like in the combine, he was like super fast.
Everyone hates Pipkins.
No.
Pipkins ain't easy, dude. Pipkins ain't easy. Hey, what if we trade him? Guys, we could still trade the guy, right?
Yeah.
I think okay, good. Okay, so we did pick correctly. Okay. A few people are a little bit behind. That's good.
Yeah.
Blake Corum. Actually, is Blake Corum available?
Dude, honestly, if you got Jalen Wright, just add that speed guy. Think about how like LaDainian Tomlinson to Michael Turner to Darren Sproles kind of era. If you think about it, if you get him as like a speed 4.38 running back, that's pretty solid, man.
Big time. Jalen Wright. Oh, this guy right here from Tennessee.
Yeah.
So you guys want him? Who are we thinking? Or wait, are we just thinking offense? Are we thinking running back at this point? Because again, folks,
gotta be running back at this point.
We need a stable of horses, dude.
Yep.
Giddy up. They're gonna be running.
Giddy up.
Well, folks, I mean, look, you're gonna see 30 runs every game. 30 runs. So let's say we have 50 plays. That means 20 throws. Well, I mean, it might not be exactly that mix, but I'm just saying, like, we need a stable of running backs. So, but Jalen Wright's very good, dude. I like him a lot coming soon. Come on, bro.
I would love to be able to just have a fast back that could just be that dude. They take the home run hitter. That's the way I view him as.
Who is the guy? Who's that guy from? What's it?
This is going to be a very broad question.
Notre Dame. There we go. Notre Dame. The guy from Notre Dame. He was slow as hell in the combine, dude. Estime, dude. Oh my god,
that guy was kind of a back end guy, but I've seen him as.
All right, so everyone's saying Jalen Wright. Estime. There we go. Estime. Yeah. So everyone's saying Blake Corum's perfect. Blake's not available. He got picked up already.
Yeah. He'll probably be late third, early fourth. Probably.
All right. It sounds like everyone's saying Jalen Wright. So let's go with him.
Let's go. Let's get that dude. Let's get that dude. Lightning in a bottle player, man. Like that. We haven't seen that in a long time since LT, basically.
Guys, I like our draft here, folks.
I like
this is good. That's a good draft. I'm hyped on it.
It's like defense, offense. Like that's kind of the right way to go from there.
Yeah, Estime. Yeah, he's big. Now, a center. I think you could probably get a center. This next pick, yes, after this one right here for sure. But because the centers now, let me give you my take on linemen in general. I would not pick a lineman unless they can play a number of positions: guard, tackle, center. Yeah. But look at McFadden, dude. McFadden can play all three positions right now, and we picked him up, I think, in the 6th round last year.
Yeah.
So my point is, I think our center is okay this year. I think we're going to be fine, but they're going to be getting other people ready to take that position potentially, right?
Yep.
McFadden. They may even have Zion Johnson take some snaps at center as well too. Our center actually had played guard a lot as well. So there's a lot going on that could definitely happen moving forward. But all right, guys, I'm going to post our draft today as well. I think we did great, guys. Let's just look at it again one more time here. Let's zoom it in one more time here so you guys can see it. Okay, there we go. Marvin Harrison, cannot go wrong with that. Damn. Byron Murphy, Space Eater. I love that. Jatavian Sanders, guys, we're going to run the ball. He's going to help. He's going to be an offensive weapon. Sanders Hill, nice. Yep. And Jalen Wright, another horse in the stable.
Yep.
Giddy up, Yeah. I think it's going to be great. I think this could happen, by the way. First-time caller. Traded to the Vikes. Yeah, that's not going to happen. By the way, he has a no-trade clause. You guys know that, right? He has a no-trade clause. So it's not going to happen. He will not be traded. But having said that, I just think it's hilarious that people keep bringing that up. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen.
It's wild to me because you think like you go from a JJ McCarthy to or a Herbert to a JJ McCarthy, and it's just like, I don't know, guys. Like, I just don't think that's happening at all. I mean, it's too much risk on something like that too. I mean, it's no way.
Yeah, and an unproven NFL quarterback,
No.
So, and again, and we've said this over and over again on our podcast. It wasn't Herbert's fault. It was never Herbert's fault ever.
Nope.
It was always the defense was soft as hell because of the stupid, pattern match zone defense that we were dealing with. And then secondarily, we had no running game. Funny thing about that, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna wrap up my final thoughts, guys, just so you know. And JJ McCarthy over Herbert's wild. I understand he's Harbaugh's boy, but here's the thing. I think Harbaugh also said that to get him pushed up the draft even further.
Exactly.
The more you can push him up the draft, the better off he looks, and it gives us an opportunity to trade back with the Vikings, right? So, And by the way, Wilson is great. I like him a lot too. But you got to remember also we have our boy Deion Henley, who I think is going to be that speedy linebacker. That guy's a freak of nature, dude.
He's awesome.
Final thought. I'm just going to say this. We didn't talk about this at all today, but I've been thinking a lot about the running game. The last couple seasons, the Chargers they've not had an identity. What do I mean by that? We zone reads, and it was like, let's try this, let's try that. It was never sticking to anything. It was never, this is what we are, this is what we do well. When you look at a team like the Niners or even the Eagles or a lot of these teams, they have a running game identity. They run power. They smash the ball down your throat, right? That is what we're going to be doing. And that identity is going to set up the play action pass and the ball downfield throws, right? Because they're going to have to stack the box and the safeties are going to have to cheat. So because we're running the ball effectively, I mean, even if you get 3 to 4 yards, guys, you're demoralizing that defense. You're just going to beat the hell out of them. So I'm excited to see how we play. And I think that's partially why, guys, we might see if we stick and pick a Joe Alt get picked. It could happen, guys. You want to run GT counter, you need an athletic right tackle, and Pipkins ain't the guy. So I'm just throwing it out there that might be the case. Again, that's just my general thoughts, but that's the identity that we're going to have moving forward.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm excited to be able to see that happen. And Smizzy, are you talking about Mesa as in Mesa, Arizona? That's where I'm at. So, dude, shout out to Arizona, dude. Let's go.
If you are, you need to hit us up. I was just in Arizona, so now I'm back in Utah.
But so my final thoughts, going back to Joe Ortiz and just kind of the whole situation and the shots that are being shot at him about letting go of Keenan Allen and everything. These are tough moves that just needed to be made. And he even said I had to cut somebody. And let's go, dude. Hey, by the way, and I know I'm in the middle of my final thoughts here. We're talking about possibly, right on, man. Dana Park. Awesome, dude. Hey, they got great restaurants over there. So we've been talking a little bit about having kind of like a Bolt Bros kind of sponsored like meetups for, Charger fans to be able to watch games together and everything. So we talked a little bit about Oso and downtown Gilbert being an area because there's a guy there, Francisco, who is a big Chargers fan. And he works at that location. So we talked a little bit about possibly having parties there to watch the game. So either which way, side note, we'll keep you updated on that. But with Joe Ortiz, he had to make tough moves and, regardless, it had to be somebody and he had to make it on 2 wide receivers, which I didn't expect it to be 2 wide receivers, but there was the other side that we kept 2 defensive players that are pretty critical to this team. to be able to, go out there and have a very solid defense for Jesse Minter. It sucks for these kind of moves, but at the same side, he's making very good moves all around. It's weird to me where you hear some people saying that they don't like to see what Joe Ortiz is doing. I think that's a ridiculous statement all around, guys. Ridiculous. He is doing a great job of not just setting us up with some very good value-based players, guys that have been in this system already, and to be able to set us up to be able to even sign somebody else and a couple other guys down the road if we need to. I mean, he's setting us up for championship type runs, which is great. So bottom line, guys, you got to love what you're seeing here. And we're going to add more talent through the draft too, guys. Who knows where we're going to get with that? So I'm excited to be able to see where this team's going, and I cannot wait all around. So let's go. Bolt up, guys. Let's go.
It's exciting to see, folks, because I'll be straight up with you. Again, our offense is going to be very different. Very different. We are not going to be the same offense. And why should we be? We've done it in the past and it didn't work. It didn't work. Right. So let's smash the ball down their throat and demoralize them. And by the time they leave playing the Chargers, they go, holy shit. We've gotten our asses dry humped up and down the field. Physically beat down. And I don't want to play the Chargers anymore, dude. They suck. They're beating the hell out of us. Right. So, and that's my point, right? And that's the way we're going to play. And again, and talent can be fixed. Think of Michigan. They did not have 4- and 5-star recruits across the board. They took 3-star and 4-star recruits and elevated them to better players. So, and again, guys, I still think we get 12 wins this next season. 12-5. That's my prediction.
Let's go.
Anyways, could be pretty interesting. And, we did clean house already. But I will say it's interesting, though. A lot of people keep saying that this is somehow like a rebuild year. This is not a rebuild year. No, this is not. But they are changing the offense and they're changing the defensive philosophy. So, yes, it probably might look like that. But bottom line, they're going to run the ball and smash the ball down the field, in a physical, ugly manner. So it's going to be exciting.
Great, man.
And again,
can't wait.
Undrafted free agents are going to be good too. That
big.
We already have some on our team, guys. Look at what's that homie from that everyone likes, the defensive lineman. What's his name? Big fat guy.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, everyone loved him, dude. Man, I can't think names today. I don't know what I got like a little, I need to take my Adderall. Anyways.
Either way.
All right, guys. Well, lot to discuss. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And again, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the channel. Guys, also, we're on all the other social medias too. We're on TikTok. We're on all of it. We do post a lot of different things on Instagram as well. So check us out as well too. All right, guys. We're the Bolt Bros. See you guys in the next one.
Let's go.
Let's go.